I am sitting here today with Attorney J.C. Polanco, who's running for Public Advocate of New York City. Thank you so much for sitting with us. Yankees or Mets?
Oh, Yankees. I was a former Yankee bat boy.
Who is your favorite female artist?
I'd have to say Lady Gaga. Any person that can sing Bad Romance and then sing, a country song later on, you gotta hear it. You gotta give them credit. I have my kids, Savannah and Sebastian, and Savannah's gonna be 14 in November, and she just started her freshman year at Preston High School. And my daughter has to be the biggest feminist I have ever met. Her future is so important to her, and I'm so encouraged to see that, having a young teenage daughter telling you about her dreams and aspirations. You want to do everything possible so that she can achieve that.
In layman's terms, if you could describe what the Public Advocate does.
In New York City, the mayor's office is very powerful. If you don't have an office that monitors the activities of the mayor, things could run out of control. So what the city decided to do was have a public advocate to monitor the affairs of the mayor and to really represent the people. Throughout the years, the office, unfortunately, has been diluted in the amount of power that it has. And I think that a lot of that had to do with the fact that the mayor and the city council didn't want an independent, powerful public advocate breathing down their necks. But what I want to do now is I want to propose new changes so that the city council and the mayor really have a watchdog. In order to get that done, you have to ask the voters directly. Should the public advocate's office have as much funding as the city controller's office? Should this office be responsible for agencies like ACS, the Administration for Children's Services? Should this office be responsible for homeless services? I think that when you look at the increase in homelessness in New York City, we have seen it under this mayor, and I am pointing out the inefficiencies of having a mayor with so much power.
So in the realm of public education, there's nothing really more hotly debated than charter schools versus public schools, and you are a big proponent of charter schools.
I am. Well, charter schools are public schools. That's important for those watching to know that I've been an educator for 17 years now. So I've seen education from all of the different angles. And I can tell you that without a doubt, they're doing something right in these charter schools. We have kids that are succeeding when statistically they're not supposed to. What is it that they're doing different from your everyday regular non-charter? Well, then let's bring those strategies into the public school so that everyone could succeed. If you're truly interested in giving students the best education possible and giving them a choice to experience the American dream, you should look at all avenues of success.
So how would you create more jobs for women, particularly women of color in the city, and create an environment of equality?
There are thousands of women that are looking for opportunities. As someone who understands that women are really the engine in our city, in many ways, I think it's important that we have to take an active role in making sure that women are encouraged to participate in business. And like my daughter, there's millions of young girls in the city that are looking for a role model and a place where they can thrive. Not only encourage them in the schools about how they can participate in some subjects that they have been locked out of in the past, but you really need to make them feel as if it can happen. Anything is possible in New York if we really work in perfect synergy. And that means public education and funding and real mentorship to make it happen.
How specifically would you go about making housing affordable for the millions working minimum wage jobs here in New York?
The politically correct answer that everybody wants to hear is, we have a housing shortage? Sure, just make more units. And why not just give large tax breaks to wealthy developers so that they can have a small set aside of people that are making good money, but we'll allow for them to get those apartments through a lottery. So a lot of the people that do get to have these luxury apartments and these new developments opening up all over Manhattan, many of them aren't the people that have been victimized because of the affordable housing crisis. So what can we do to work with existing landlords that have small units and incentivize them to have those apartments open for people to move in?
What do you plan to do to assuage the transit problems that are plaguing our city?
So the easy answer to all of this is always just throw more money at it. That's just not realistic. Look how long it took to make the Second Avenue train. The governor and the mayor are always bickering as to who's in charge. It creates an environment where there's a lot of conflict, and while they're debating as to who's in charge, New Yorkers are late to work. First, I think we have inefficiencies in the MTA. We are by far the largest users of the MTA, and New York City does not have a majority of the votes on the board to make these decisions. Second, we have to really examine the overcrowding in New York City. We've seen millions of more people move into New York City. The infrastructure isn't designed for so many people. What do we have to do with our infrastructure to accommodate so many people? So yes, ferry services from the outer boroughs into Manhattan are going to be amazing. I will continue pushing for that so that we can have more ferry services. I think that if we were to improve transportation routes between New York City and neighboring areas, more New Yorkers would look at neighboring areas as an alternative to living in New York City. Parts where you could probably afford the rents a lot better than you can in New York City. There's no easy solution here. And in order to be honest with New Yorkers, you have to tell them, hey, listen, we have an infrastructure that isn't designed for the influx that we've seen of millions of new New Yorkers. Any candidate that comes with an easy solution or one of these only I can fix it mantras that we hear is lying. And they really need to be honest with New Yorkers.
Thank you so much for being
Thank you.
here
This
with
is
us.
great.
This
I
was a
appreciate
pleasure.
it.